As election day approaches, things are getting scarier, and it's driving me mad.
Oh my gosh, I'm just kidding. This election isn't driving me crazy. I'm just very sick of it, and this is coming from a person that loves politics. How are you guys feeling about it?
I actually feel pretty good about it.
Nobody likes you, Dave. Shut up. Welcome everybody to today's episode of Government Update with Nate. I'm Nate, and I'll try to give you all the facts that I can find on politicians and government, and I'll try to give you those facts as straight as humanly possible. Now, what that means, kids, is that I give you the voting records on these elected officials, and that's pretty much it. If they don't have a voting record, I give you their platform, because you can't trust the words that they say. So the bare minimum that I'll choose to give you is their platform, their candidacy platform. That's it. Everything else other than that is probably pandering. The second thing is that you can't trust the news and the information that they give you, because they pander it to their specific audience. Think of Fox News and think of MSNBC. Those are two very polarized news stations. What I try to do is cut through the middle of that. I try to give you the facts on how these politicians voted, and then you can make a decision on whether or not you like the way they voted. So, for example, today we're talking about the two candidates in the New Hampshire U.S. Senate race. New Hampshire, what's up? I don't know anything about New Hampshire, so that's the best I can give you for a DJ call of New Hampshire. And that's between Maggie Hassan and Kelly Ayotte. So Kelly Ayotte is the Republican incumbent, and Maggie Hassan is actually the Democratic governor of New Hampshire. She's running for the U.S. Senate seat. So what I'm going to do today is give you the voting record, or as close as I can find of their voting record for these two candidates, and I hope that you make an informed decision on how they vote, because that race is as tight as a glove, baby. It's tighter than my glove. If it fits, acquit or don't acquit or whatever. I don't remember. I wasn't alive during that time. All right, let's begin. Okay, Maggie Hassan is the Democratic governor of New Hampshire. Now, New Hampshire is widely known as a blue state, so this race is very, very interesting because it's pretty much statistically tied in all the polls, because you know how much we love polls. So, Maggie Hassan, let's begin. She signed House Bill 537, which was medical marijuana. Come on now, kids. She signed it into law. All right, the next thing is that she actually expressed conditional opposition to Syrian refugees. Now, this isn't a law or a bill or how she voted, but it is a stance that she widely expressed, and that's a pretty hot topic right now. So not hot topic, the place where crusty punks go. This is the hot topic in the sense that a lot of people are talking about it. So this is something that's important. It might be important to you. She expressed conditional opposition to Syrian refugees entering her state as a governor. The last thing I want to give you is that she was actually a state rep. She was a state senator in New Hampshire in the early 2000s, and she co-sponsored a bill and brought it to the floor, which is called the NH New Hampshire WARN Act, or the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Act. What that meant was big companies had to give information about layoffs or plant closures so that their workers could have advance notice. She voted in favor of this bill as a state rep for New Hampshire, which was the New Hampshire WARN Act, and it is in law. So these big companies, these big manufacturing plants had to warn their employees if a closure was happening. So, with that being said, let's move on to Kelly Ayotte. She is the Republican incumbent senator, and she has a wealth of voting records. She voted in favor of the Iran nuclear deal, HR 1191, not in favor of the Iran nuclear deal. This was the deal that made it so that President Obama couldn't circumvent the the legislative branch. That was the vote that was like 98-1, pretty much standard. Okay, so this next bill is a little bit convoluted, so let's get to it. Let's get to the thick of it. Only 4 Republicans voted in favor of this bill, and she was not one of them. This was to increase the federal background checks on when people buy guns or buy rifles. She voted against this bill, and that bill failed to pass the House and failed to pass the Senate by only 4 votes. It needed a total of 60 votes to pass the Senate, and it did not obtain those votes. And so that's something to keep in mind. She did not want to expand the background checks when people were buying guns. Kind of interesting. Let me know what you think of it. And the last voting record, the last vote that I'm going to bring to you is on Senate Bill 47, which was the Violence Against Women Act. It was all about preventing domestic violence and improving response times and trying to reduce the amount of human trafficking, specifically for women. This bill passed by 78-22, and all of the 22 votes against this bill were by Republicans, so she kind of broke from a party from that vote. That was Senate Bill 47, Violence Against Women. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed enjoyed today's episode of Government Update with Nate, where I give you all the facts that I can find straight, and I never delve into those gross pits of opinion. The election day is right around the corner, kids, so make sure you are on top of your game. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Peace!